Music. I love music, and I used to really pride myself on staying on top of music and discovering new music. But lately, no, actually very recently, it's occurred to me that I have in fact forgotten how to actually really listen to music. Like, do you remember the last album you listened to from beginning to end? Maybe you're better at it than me, but I haven't done that for a really long time. And then I was listening to, everyone was talking so much about Lily Allen's latest album, that I was like, I should listen to it. I should really listen to it. And I did, just put it on, listened to it from start to end, and heard the story arc that is the album. And I thought, this is great. But it occurred to me in that moment, like, that it really reminded me of an album by The Streets in 2004, A Grand Don't Come for Free. And it's funny that it should remind me of that, because I have since seen her talk about that album in relation to her album. Anyway, I feel like I used to listen to albums in their entirety. I used to buy albums and play them over and over again. And I'm of an age that I bought them in vinyl and I bought them in CD. I never went for, what was that? I don't know. What's that mini? I don't know. I didn't ever go for that. But vinyl and CD. And listen to them again and again. And I realised that what with streaming, what with, your Spotifys and your YouTube musics and your streaming, your Amazon Music, all of that, the art, and I do think it is an art, I do, yeah, of sitting down and just paying attention, just listening to the music is kind of gone. Maybe it's coming back. Maybe it's been coming back for a while and I've only just noticing it now because of the Lily Allen album, but maybe it's been coming back. But because we don't have to actually invest in purchasing an album, or really even in purchasing a single or an EP, we just invest in our subscriptions, or we accept that ads are part of music. We haven't invested that hard-earned money into it, and so we're not treasuring it in the same way. It's just, background. Which is fine, there's nothing wrong with music being background, but I just, I can remember, I grew up a long time ago. When I was growing up, I had vinyl, and the first album I ever bought, I think, was Run DMC. But I also had like Madonna's albums, and I also had Michael Jackson's albums, and I also had Prince's albums, all on vinyl. And I would play them again and again and again, and I would write out the lyrics. To my favourite songs. And Prince, I think it was the Sign of the Times album, I think were his lyrics on there? They may have been. I don't have any of my vinyl anymore. I lost that in a breakup, but that's not a story for now. So the writing in Sign of the Times was like, he had a special way of writing. Like, I think he would do a number 3 for E, and the R's. each letter was very unique, and I went through a real phase of just copying this handwriting and writing all of my homework in this style. Because that's what I did in the evenings. I sat at home and I listened to albums all the way through. And I wrote out the lyrics. And yeah. And I can remember, like you said, I can remember doing that in the early noughties with albums like The Streets. And NASA, I think, was another one. Was it NASA? Anyway. But listening to this Lily Allen album, I thought, wow, when was the last Lily Allen album that I listened to from start to finish? Probably not since I first heard of her, again in the noughties. And when was the last album in general that I last listened to, aside from this, sort of from start to finish? And I haven't been doing it. And there was a time when I would go out and be like, I'm going to run to this album. That's what I'm in the mood for. Now I don't, not only do I not really listen to albums anymore, I no longer really know what I'm in the mood for. I just get served. I get served music. I get served music. I can be like, I'd like to hear music like this artist, give me this artist radio, go. And it'll do all of that for me. I don't have to think about it. I don't know what I'm listening to half the time. I'm like, oh, I like that song. What is it? Who is it? Oh yeah, it's another one of that. I like them. And I notice the same patterns, but like I don't know often who I'm listening to. And it's such a removal from actively going out and choosing to listen to an artist and choosing to pay for their work. Like when it all started to come away from that model, and you could people were using things like Sanuti, which is basically iTunes spelt backwards, to, I don't know, do something to hack their music somehow. I don't really remember hazy days. But before Spotify became legit and backed by all of these big music labels, it was kind of rogue and exciting, and you had all these different ways of listening to music that didn't involve buying the music, which was expensive. Like whether you bought it on iTunes or the physical, it was expensive. And then suddenly you could have all the music that you wanted. And for a while that wasn't particularly legal, but then it became completely legal, and you could have all of the music that you wanted. What I'm thinking of, like Last FM, and is it Pandora? Limewire. I'm just saying words that a lot of people were born after these things no longer existed, maybe. Anyway, it was much easier. Music discoverability was a choice. It was an active pursuit of what's new. And it's possible that maybe this is just part of getting older, that like I don't do that anymore. But I think a lot of it is also just like it's served. We are served. I wake up and I want to go for a run, and I will just be like, give me something energetic and happy from the 90s. And it will. To the point that like I don't have an opinion on Taylor Swift. I'm neither a Swiftie nor a not. Nifty? Because I honestly don't know what her music is. I've probably heard it. I couldn't point it out to you. I couldn't name you a single track. I know she has eras, and now everyone has eras. I'm in my using this microphone today era. But I couldn't actually name you a track. Beyonce, who I do love and I do have opinions about, because, like, you know, Destiny's Child, and we've grown up together. So I do have, but I haven't listened to a whole Beyonce album in I don't know how long. And okay, so basically the decision is, what I need to do is choose an album every day and listen to it, an album by an artist every day, and listen to it. And I think this will help me to feel back in touch with actual, to feel more connected with music. So today I think I'm going to choose Doechii because love, but have I listened to either of her albums in from beginning to end? No, I haven't. And is today the day that finishes? Changes? Yes, it is. 11/11. Thank you.